Hello, I am Pooja Chaturvedi and you're listening to the Lounge Podcast. At first glance, it seems like an ambitious project, but theatre personality Anant Mahapatra feels that his new venture, Theatre in Motion, is more like preparing for a war. Over the past 2 years, Mahapatra has been shuttling between Mumbai, Calcutta, and Delhi, trying to initiate his dream project, which is possibly the longest theatre festival in India. Starting on 5th October, simultaneously in GD Birla Sabkar, Calcutta, Veer Savarkar Auditorium, Mumbai, and LTG Auditorium, Delhi, Theatre in Motion will stage performances on Saturdays and Sundays through October, November, and December. The festival is being presented by Mahapatra's Utkal Rangmanch Trust. There are 48 plays in Hindi, Bengali, and English, and the groups from each of these three cities will travel to the other and stage plays every weekend on rotation. Some theatre persons who will be a part of this festival include Soumita Chatterjee, Nadira Zahir Babbar, Om Katare, Manoj Mitra, Lilith Dubey, Sharnaz Patel, and Mohan Agashe. On today's show, Mahapatra will tell us about the challenges he faced while initiating this festival, the criteria by which he selected the groups, and about the next edition of the Theatre in Motion. So let's welcome Mr. Mahapatra. Hello, Mr. Mahapatra. Welcome to the Lounge Podcast.
Thank you very much, Pooja.
All right, so tell us about the Theatre in Motion. How did the idea come by?
Well, the idea came because I have been involved in the theatre for last 55 years, and I was thinking that the theatre in India is not taking off as a professional setup like the cinema or the television or the radio for that matter. So I thought that perhaps because the main theatre centers like Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore are not able to see what is happening in our center. So that's why I thought I went round for last 1 year. I have been going about Calcutta, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore to find out what's happening, what's the theatre scene like. And I thought that perhaps if there is an exchange of theatre groups from one place to the other and the theatre people involved can see each other, maybe there will be a change in the form as well as content, and maybe a new kind of theatre activity will generate, which will bring in a new generation of audience also. Calcutta, although is called that it has for hundreds of years, theatre is there, but it is not taking a shape as it should. Similarly, Bombay is traditional Gujarati and Marathi theatre, but the Hindi theatre, the English theatre is gradually gaining ground. And Delhi had the tradition of Punjabi theatre, really. But after establishment of National School of Drama, a new generation of people are taking to theatre. So that was the basic idea, getting people to see the theatres happening in one city to another city, from one center to another center, from one language to another language.
Mm-hmm. But sir, why did you then decide on just three cities, Delhi, Mumbai and Calcutta?
Well, that is for three reasons again. One was to get the auditoriums. It is very difficult to get auditoriums, although I booked the auditorium almost 1 year ago, but even then I couldn't get it. It was difficult to get collaborative support from Bangalore and Chennai and Hyderabad. So maybe I'll be able to do it next round in those places.
But 3 months and 15 plays, it makes Theatre in Motion perhaps the longest theatre festival in the Indian history. How did you manage it?
I'm managing it. It is just going to start. You can't say I have managed it. Well, to start with, I think it needs a proper, detailed, manicured detailing of contacting the groups, getting the auditoriums, getting their accommodation, getting their transport, getting all these things in place was the first thing, which I worked for months in ahead. And then I have professional people looking at each center. So it's a question really of a strategy, because I have always thought making a theatre or a film is like going to a war.
As you've said that these different cities have different cultures, like Delhi has Punjabi theatre and Mumbai has basically Marathi theatre culture. So is it to promote regional theatre as well?
Because in a way, yes. But ultimately, you'll find that a lot of original work is being done in the regional theatre, like in Marathi and Gujarati and Bengali, in Oriya, in Telugu, in Tamil, in Kannada. And some of these groups are adapting each other. Previously, we used to adapt from English mostly. But now there is a trend that the regional theatre is so rich that the people have started translating or adapting it to theirs. There will be many of these groups who are representing, like the Calcutta group has, I think, 2 or 3 Marathi plays adapted. And some of the plays from Bengal is also adaptation of English as well. And Bombay also has the same thing. In a diverse cultural setback like ours, the regional theatre will play a role, because you must remember that Indian theatre tradition is a very deep root in the society itself. We have a tradition of theatre going back to 5,000 years, really.
But the plays are in Hindi and Bengali?
There are plays in Hindi, there is plays in Bengali. Yes, there are about 9 plays in Bengali. And there are about 4-5 plays in English. And in future, you might get some more in other regional language as well.
There have also been reports that theatre groups of some cities were upset because they were not included in the festival.
Well, I mean, they need not be upset. They would perhaps be sad that they are, because you must and they must realize that because of the time, because of the finance, and because of the organization, I couldn't spread the net very wide. It was itself quite a job, having 20 groups, 50 shows in 90 days is itself a marathon. So it's not a question of being upset or not being included, but it is just a question that getting and finding out the right groups for the right time and getting them on.
So what was
I hope that I'm starting working from tomorrow, really. After this show is on, then we'll looking at it. But even then, when I'm trying to get auditoriums in Delhi and Calcutta and Bombay and Bangalore and Chennai, I'm finding that the auditoriums are not available.
No.
You see, the main problem with the Indian theatre not turning into professional theatre is because we do not have permanent auditoriums earmarked for the theatre of this.
And what was the criteria of selecting the groups?
Well, there were many. One, of course, was that the groups which have been performing for decades, like in Calcutta, there are 3-4 groups which have been performing for more than 4 decades, 5 decades. So some of them were outstanding plays, long-running plays. Some were because they were absolutely new groups and trying out a new form and new content, like the group from Bombay called No License Yet. They are absolutely fresh, and the playwright, the director, they are all young people. Similarly, there is a group from Bhopal. Very few people know about it, but that's a very dedicated team of people. And then there is a group, Asmita from Delhi, by Arvind Gaur, who is very committed. He has provocative themes, and he is so committed that he almost has a show every week in Delhi. So there were many criteria. I wanted to expose the people in Calcutta to a comedy theatre. In Bombay, there is a lot more comedy theatre now. So I was trying to make the comedy theatre come to Calcutta and take the serious theatre of Calcutta to Bombay, and a mixed bag for Delhi.
That's interesting. And so you've already told me for the next edition you're planning for more cities. So will it be around the same time of the year?
There are 2 thoughts to that now. I want to form this kind of professional group which can travel through the year in course of the next year or so. If I have 3 groups or 4 groups from 4 regions, that 4 groups can go around the country and put up their show. Then it will go also in the same kind of motion that one starts from Delhi, come back to Delhi after doing about 15 or 20 centers, and that will be a professional group.
All the best for your future plans.
Thank you very much.
Theatre in Motion ends on 29th December. For more details and the schedule, you can go to www.theatreinmotion.in. Hope you'd like today's show. Write to me with your feedback at feedback@livemint.com. Have a great weekend.